All right.
That's some pretty music.
Oh, you can hear that?
Yeah.
Let me put my bass up real quick.
We're back. So we got disconnected the first time because we thought that we were supposed to turn it off, but apparently we weren't. So we're back, and we don't exactly remember where we left off.
Was it about Tamir Rice?
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Tamir Rice.
So since there's two of you and one of me, let me be the first to start.
Yes.
Okay. If I remember correctly, I was saying before, like I said again, he was a child. He didn't know what to probably do in that situation. And then, I put some fault on the cops too, because for one, I know the difference between a toy gun and a real gun. And, the kid was probably just playing, and he probably thought it was just a game. And, fault on the parents for not teaching him. I agree with that. Fault on him for being a little pooky, a little niglet. I agree with that. Fault on him, all those things. But, ultimately at the end of the day, do you really trust cops' judgment? Because when it comes to police brutality, I wouldn't say this is a black thing or Hispanic thing or, a white thing. I would say it's a human problem that personally needs to be addressed. And, I really don't trust the judgment of cops. I'd rather protect myself or pay for security guards that I fund through my own money where I have control over them than go ahead and just trust the state, because there's been many cases of state corruption. The state want to throw someone in jail. Cops planting evidence on individuals. I mean, this crap has been going on for years. Cops abusing their law, overstepping their boundaries. This has been happening since the dawn of time. So that's why I'm thinking, instead of just relying on the state,
everyone abuses their power. Everyone abuses their power at work.
See, what the question that you're asking, or do I trust the judgment of cops? What I really feel like you're asking is, do I trust the judgment of men in general?
Okay.
I do to a degree, because I don't feel like cops are much more than men with guns. I mean, that's just what they are. That's why you have so many issues. That's why they're not perfect in their performance. That's why you have the corruption. It's not like there's much more corruption in cops as there is in politics, or as there is in business, or as there is in any market where people have money that's thrown around. So, or power that's thrown around, like in cops. So yes, I do know that most people will look out for their best interest, but I also believe that most people don't want to hurt others. That's just not, most people don't wake up today like, I wonder how many people I can make experience pain today. Just for no fucking reason, but for my own pure enjoyment.
Like
there's a minority few people who do that. They're called the mentally insane, but keep going on.
Like, I'm not saying those people don't exist. I just don't think that most people are genuinely insane, as you would call it.
I wouldn't say they're in. Okay. I'm misconstruing you. Continue on.
I mean, I think I made my point. Your point was that you don't trust cops. I would say I don't trust men very much in general, cops included, but I do trust them to a degree. I trust that in general they will do the job they are paid for, because in general they do. We do get traffic tickets. Murderers do get put in jail in general. Rape, they do their jobs. Do they do them perfectly to the degree that everyone in the world is happy? No, that's impossible. That will never happen. So I don't think
maybe not in Europe.
What'd you say?
Maybe the cops not in Europe do their job to a degree, but maybe in America, meh. But I like.
Deidra, you said something really interesting. You said no, you don't think anybody should go for that, but that's the same exact thing. You just thought the same exact thought the founding fathers thought. Perfect is impossible.
Yes.
Therefore, it is stupid.
Yes, it's just stupid to try to make a perfect situation. No, the most effective. That's what you should go for. What works the best, because you're never going to get perfect. You just tried to make a point like maybe the cops in Europe do their job in general, but the cops here don't. Those guys don't even have fucking guns. They can't even protect against the most local of terrorism or even the most local of fucking theft.
They're a fucking joke.
But you think they're more effective than the cops here in America? Okay. You can't even sleep at night thinking that you're actually in my opinion, you can't sleep at night and you're thinking that you're very protected. But at least I know that I can call the cops
personally,
here.
Hold
I do sleep well at night in America, knowing that a cop would come and die in a firefight for me.
Hold the phone now. I said the cops in Europe are not efficient. I said the cops in Europe suck because they ignore the Muslim rape gangs. They ignore all the crimes that go on caused by the Islamic community. Okay. I'm talking about the cops in Europe suck. Not that they're better. They suck.
Okay. Right. Thank you for clarifying.
So we agree on that part.
Yes, they're horrible. They're horrible. They will harass Tommy Robinson, the guy who's fighting for the defense of the UK, other than go harass actual freaking terrorists. The cops in Europe suck. They ignore crime.
No,
I know that.
Okay. But do you think they suck more or less than the ones here?
I'd rather, if I had to choose between a UK cop and an American cop, I'm taking the American cop. I'm taking the American cop 10 times out of 10.
Thank you.
He's more efficient than me.
Thank you. Thank you. Are you smart or are you dumb? That's the answer to that question. Okay.
Oh, now, what you said about the there's always going to be corruption, and you made that point. There's always going to be corruption in many forms of government. So, won't you just eliminate the government, period, and you don't have to worry about that corruption at all?
Well,
define government.
Define government. Like the United States government that controls over the people.
No. Let's get this general Google Webster definition. Government definition. Governing body of the nation is the relation between a governed and a governing word. That's better. Okay.
That's a great one.
The relation between
so I have a better one than that also. So the relation between the governing and the governed.
And the people who are governed shouldn't have to be controlled by the governing. They should be able to tell the governing to fuck off.
No, the governing is the law. It's word.
Yeah,
text.
It is word.
There really shouldn't be a law. The law should be decided by the
There shouldn't be a law.
There is always a law.
There has to be a law.
There's no way for there not to be law.
But I sure don't need it enforced by the government. That's for sure.
The law. Yes or no?
The law is enforced by law.
We need the law. Yes or no?
Like the old stereotype of how they say the Wild Wild West was actually radical. To be honest, it wasn't. There was no cops back then, and people were actually quite civil.
So we don't need the law?
We really don't need the law. People can dictate their own laws upon each other. They don't want the government to tell them what.
People should dictate their own, bro? Have you ever been high on acid?
I'm pretty sure everyone has the genuine census: do not kill, do not steal, because we already know if we were to do these things towards other individuals.
No, everyone's taught that. You're not born with that. You're taught that.
And many, many men do not kill and do not rape because of they are afraid of the law.
I'd rather have the law of God than the law of the state.
We always have the law.
The law
of
the state. What is the law of the state?
You can't eradicate the law of God. That's the conscience you were born with. But that's irrelevant.
That is more trustworthy than the state itself.
What did you say, Dennis?
That is more trustworthy than the state themselves. I'd rather trust. Wow. I'm confused. My brain's just going radical for a second. Did I just really say that I'd rather trust? Ugh. Wow. Epically failing live.
What would that take?
The whole point is I don't necessarily trust the government, period. I don't necessarily trust the government to put its laws to protect
But that doesn't mean that there is no form of government that would not work. Just because you don't trust this government does not mean that all government is bad.
How is this government even working? We're like $20 trillion in debt. thanks to the first monkey
because that's how well was fucking made. That we can be $20 trillion in debt and still be working like a well-oiled fucking machine.
Wait, we're $20 trillion and we're $20 trillion in debt, and we're still the wealthiest nation in the history of the world.
Well, if we keep living, that might not be there for long.
You're missing the point, bro.
As of now.
Right, but I think you're
if you really want to talk about a nation that's thriving, Japan's thriving more than we do.
The grandiosity of the power.
He doesn't respect America, so why would he?
Hold the phone. I respect America. I love my country.
Oh, you do? That's a surprise.
Is it?
What did you get this freaking notion that I don't like America?
It surprised me, but I want to know why it surprised you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I just don't think that anyone who hates the government so much could love the country.
Oh, that's a good point.
I can love the identity of the country. Doesn't necessarily mean I have to love its government.
This country is built from this government.
The country, it's she has a good point too. Like,
we are really not different from the. This country is not that different from when we founded it.
The men that.
What do you mean we're not that different? No, we're pretty damn different because.
I know we're pretty fucking different. I mean, just look at it. I'm not an idiot, but the spirit of our country is very fucking hard to change. That born
for white people, right?
Born on our values and don't give a fuck about anyone else's, you know?
It's that Minuteman attitude.
You mean a country only for white men, right?
What?
You mean a country only for white men, right?
What are you only for white men?
Where did that come from?
Well, look at this Immigration Act of 1790. It says only free.
Are we in 1790?
Who's talking about 1790?
Started as a country for Europeans, nonetheless.
But continue what you were saying. What about 1790?
Wait, first of all, this country literally was never for only white people.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, literally never.
The founding fathers had no minorities in the plans at all. The fact that they had slaves, the fact that
so the whole diversity come here because to get away from
what does that mean?
Come here to get away from religious what was the word? Religious persecution and all
that. Government? You mean monarchies?
Huh?
You mean a monarchy? That's the reason why they came here?
Oh, well, there was Jews who came here because they were getting, what's the word?
I'm talking about at the beginning of the country, not when it changed, obviously.
All kinds of people have immigrated from other places into our country because it's just, that's the place that you go. America is the safe haven. It's the place where people who are oppressed go to seek shelter. That's just what we are. So the fact that you think that in the plans, we never planned for our country to be the place where people go to live their own fucking lives and not be controlled by the places that they were before, that's just wrong. That's just flat out wrong. That's the whole point of America. We escaped persecution on many levels. We literally made this country just so we could do whatever the fuck we wanted to do.
America,
what it is.
America.
Jefferson comment that he believed in the government that should not be governed by whites and blacks, but a government shall be governed.
What was that?
Actually, what about Thomas Jefferson's comment that basically said that he didn't believe blacks or whites or any other minorities should be governed? This country should only be for whites. You can go look that statement up if you want. There's many other founding fathers that shared that same idea with us.
They said that Thomas Jefferson did not believe that anyone other than whites should be governed in America.
I can give you the stats. I can give you the evidence that.
Okay, well, for now we'll assume that's true.
So even if that is, even if
minorities weren't.
I don't agree that all of the founding fathers felt that way because obviously they didn't. Otherwise, a few generations later, we wouldn't have had men like Abraham Lincoln who ended slavery and whatnot, and we inherently
the Republican Party ended slavery, right? Not Abraham Lincoln. If you read his letter to Horace Greeley and see what he really thought about the slaves.
All right.
Read his letter to
all right. I officially have decided there are better ways for me to spend my night. So if you want to have more talking, we can definitely do that, but we can do that on Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and end this here because I'd rather do something else. So you have a great night. I don't know, Christopher, if you want to keep talking to him. All right. Have a great night. I will hit you up on Twitter or something.